Do you ever catch yourself wondering if you've already lived the best days of your life? It's a haunting question, one that creeps in after a major change, a loss, or even a quiet moment of reflection. It shows up after endings and lingers when the future feels uncertain. In those moments, it can be hard to see past the door that's closing. And yet, C.S. Lewis, a man known not just for his literature, but for his wisdom, offers this quiet reminder. There are far, far better things ahead than any we leave behind. At first, it sounds like something you read on a greeting card. But look again. This quote isn't just wishful thinking. It's a call to reframe the way we view change. It invites us to imagine the future, not as something to fear, but as something to lean into with curiosity, courage, and hope. And today, we're going to unpack that together. This isn't about denying what you've lost or pretending every ending is easy. It's about giving yourself permission to believe that what lies ahead could be even better. Because sometimes what we fear is not the future itself, but the idea that we've already peaked, that nothing else will measure up, that we're done growing. But what if that's simply not true? What if you're just getting started? Let's return to Lewis's quotes. There are far, far better things ahead than any we leave behind. This doesn't mean the past was meaningless. It means the future still holds promise. In a world that often glorifies nostalgia, it's easy to get stuck looking backward. We remember the good times, the laughter, the ease, and we compare them to now. And now doesn't always win. But memory is selective, and it's not always accurate. We tend to paint the past with soft tones, forgetting the parts that challenged us or the growth we craved even then. The truth is, the past can comfort us, but it can also trap us. It can convince us that our best moments are over, that the peak has passed, and all that's left is a slow decline. That kind of thinking is heavy. It roots us in hesitation and fear. That's why reframing is essential. Reframing the future means choosing to believe that better doesn't mean perfect. It just means possible. It means accepting that joy isn't confined to one season of life. It can return in a new form, in new people, new passions, and new places. Better things ahead could mean deeper relationships, a stronger sense of purpose, work that aligns with your values, or simply peace of mind. Something we often overlook but deeply crave. Think about this. Maybe you're walking away from a dream that didn't work out. Maybe you're rebuilding after heartbreak, or maybe you're waking up to the realization that who you were 5 years ago is no longer who you are today. That can be unsettling. It can feel like the threads of your identity are coming undone. But what if those threads aren't unraveling? What if they're actually reweaving? What if this discomfort, this uncertainty, is just space being cleared for something more aligned, something truer? The future isn't just a blank slate. It's a field of potential. It's the unknown, but it's also the unwritten. You haven't met all the people who will love you yet. You haven't discovered every talent you hold. You haven't seen all the ways life can surprise you. Let that excite you. Let it energize you. Because better doesn't mean you were wrong before. It doesn't mean your past wasn't real or meaningful. It simply means you're allowed to keep becoming. And in that becoming, there's hope. There's a possibility. And there's always something ahead worth moving toward. This is where reflection becomes powerful. Taking time to look back is important, not to dwell, but to understand. Ask yourself, what did this chapter teach me? What can I carry forward? And what is no longer mine to hold? Reflection gives us the gift of context. It helps us make sense of where we've been and honors the journey without chaining us to it. And then there's forgiveness, especially of yourself. Maybe things didn't go the way you envisioned. Maybe you missed a chance, made a mistake, said the wrong thing, or stayed somewhere too long. Or maybe you're still holding on to someone else's hurtful choices. Whatever the story, let it breathe. Let it be what it was. And then give yourself permission to forgive. Forgiveness isn't approval. It's freedom. It doesn't erase the past. It releases you from reliving it. From there, take one small, meaningful step. Big dreams can be beautiful, but they can also be overwhelming. You don't have to leap. You just have to move. Set one goal. Make one call. Shift one habit. Something simple, but intentional. You don't need to know the entire path to take the first step. And with each step, confidence grows. Stay open to new friendships, new ideas, and new versions of yourself. Life will test your willingness to remain hopeful. It'll offer reasons to harden, to close off, to stop trusting. But openness isn't weakness, it's courage. It's the quiet strength of choosing to see possibilities where others see limits. Being open doesn't mean being naive. It means being willing to try again. And in those moments of hesitation, when the future feels blurry or intimidating, return to Lewis's words, not as a fantasy, but as fuel. There are far, far better things ahead. Let that line echo through the noise of fear and uncertainty. Let it remind you that the story is not finished, and you are not done becoming. Because Lewis's quote doesn't deny that the past matters. It simply reminds us that the future matters too. The unknown isn't just scary, it's open. It's filled with new people, new ideas, and new chances we haven't met yet. Maybe you're walking away from a dream that didn't work out. Maybe you're learning how to start over after a painful ending. Or maybe you've outgrown a life you once thought you wanted. In all these situations, the idea of better things ahead doesn't mean forgetting the past. It means trusting that the road in front of you still leads somewhere worth going. Believe in better, not blindly, but boldly, because belief shapes behavior. When you believe that better is possible, you start to notice possibilities. You begin to take action from a place of hope, not habit. And slowly, you start to design a life that reflects who you're growing into, not just who you've been. Let this be your reminder. The future isn't something that happens to you, it's something you meet halfway. Transitions aren't detours, they're steps toward growth. Now, let's be honest. There will be days when believing in a brighter future feels completely out of reach. Days when the weight of disappointment is heavy, when the ending still stings, and when silence feels louder than any comfort. In those moments, The idea of better things ahead can sound like a hollow promise. And that's okay. Optimism doesn't need to be forced. You don't have to plaster a smile over the ache. You don't need to rush your way out of pain just to appear strong. Instead, give yourself permission to feel everything. Sit with your emotions without judgment. Let yourself grieve what was lost, what changed, or what never came to be. Let yourself be human, but even as you honor your sadness, try not to let it become the final voice in your mind. Pain has a place. It doesn't get the last word, because even in the darkest seasons, growth is happening beneath the surface. In the quiet, your heart is learning resilience. Your spirit is being stretched to hold sorrow and hope together. Your mind is slowly, gently expanding to understand that both brokenness and beauty can coexist. You are absolutely allowed to hurt. You're allowed to feel tired, unsure, and overwhelmed. You're also allowed to heal. And healing doesn't always come with fireworks or clarity. Sometimes healing is subtle. It's choosing to get out of bed when you'd rather hide. It's answering a message, stepping outside, or taking a deep breath when everything feels uncertain. Healing can look like stillness. It can look like survival. It can look like a quiet decision to keep showing up, one moment at a time. And those moments, however small they may seem, are powerful. Because when you choose to keep going, when you make space for hope, even after heartache, you're already embodying the truth behind Lewis's words. You're saying, in your own quiet way, my story isn't over yet. I am not finished. There's more to come. And that, right there, is everything. That willingness to believe in better, not because it's easy, but because it's brave, is what transforms endings into beginnings. It's what makes space for the future to unfold gently. If something in this message spoke to you, if even one sentence made you pause or take a deep breath, we'd love to hear about it in the comments. This space is for connection, not perfection. Maybe you're in the middle of a season of transition. Maybe you're learning to rebuild after loss. Maybe you're trying to believe, truly believe, that better is still possible. Whatever it is, your story matters. Your voice matters. And sharing it might just be the encouragement someone else needs today. Every video on this channel is created with that intention, to help you reflect on where you are and imagine where you could go. Because growth doesn't always arrive with a grand announcement. Sometimes it shows up quietly, in small choices, in brave honesty, in the quiet decision to keep going when no one else is watching. Growth looks different for everyone, but it always begins with awareness and willingness. The awareness of what needs to change and the willingness to move toward that change. So, as this video comes to a close, pause with us. Ask yourself, what am I being called to release? What am I holding on to that no longer serves me? What hope am I being called to move toward, even if I can't yet see the full picture? And the question that matters most, what if the best really is yet to come? This is your journey. There's no deadline, no one-size-fits-all path. You set the pace. You define the meaning. You get to decide what healing and becoming look like for you. And as long as you're here, as long as you're breathing, there's still time to become everything you're meant to be. There are far, far better things ahead than any we leave behind. C.S. Lewis. Thank you for watching. We're honored to be part of your path. Until next time, keep growing, keep believing, and never stop becoming.